Good evening from Murcia, Spain, in the U.S. Men's National Training Camp as we prepare for the final preparation match ahead of the 2022 FIFA World Cup when we will take on Saudi Arabia. We're joined by the head coach of the U.S. Men's National, Gregg Berhalter, and following Gregg will be Kellen Acosta and DeAndre Yedlin. If you'd like to get in a queue to ask a question, you can do so now, and we will begin with Stephen Goff from the Washington Post.
Hey, Gregg, thanks for your time. Given the result of the other day, given the performance of the other day, and the fact that we're at the end of the match schedule heading into a World Cup, what would you like to see, or what do you need to see from this team collectively tomorrow against Saudi Arabia?
Well, again, I think it was a poor performance from us, and we got our butts kicked, and we're not proud of it. We think we should have played much better. We could have played much better, and we didn't. So, we want to play better this game, and I think it starts with the collective. Us playing together, more cohesive, and if we do that, we'll be fine.
Great, thanks.
Next will be Henry Bushnell from Yahoo.
Thanks, Michael. Hey, Gregg. Just to follow up a bit, what exactly in rewatching and analyzing the game, what stood out to you in terms of the reasons that you guys were so unable to solve their high press? And then the second part, I think a lot of us watching that game, it felt a lot like the 2019 friendly against Mexico, just in terms of your guys' inability to deal with the high press. Did you feel like there's any similarities there? Obviously the context's different, but just in what happened on the field?
I don't love that narrative, Henry, and the reason why I don't is because, it wasn't a high press by Japan. It was a aggressive mid-block pressing that caused us problems, and we turned the ball over carelessly. There was opportunities to play, and there was free men to play to, and we didn't identify those men, and we suffered for that. But it wasn't something that we're carelessly trying to play through 7 or 8 guys of pressure, and we're unsuccessful, and they're coming down our throat. It was just making some bad decisions. And having said that, we're not happy with that. But we had an off game. Again, I can't say it clearly enough. We played poorly. Coaching staff takes responsibility for that, and we move on. We move on for the next game, and we try to have a better game.
Next will be Ryan Talmadge from Goal.com.
Thank you, Michael, and hey, Gregg. One of the things that appears you told everyone this morning is that Christian is going to start and play in this game, and that he is healthy and ready to go. What are the things that you want to see from him, going into this game? Obviously we're getting to a point where it's almost World Cup time, and everybody kind of needs to be where they are. Given everything that's gone on with him, and given his health, and given the players that you're going to have around him, what are some of the things you're going to want to see Christian do?
Just let him be Christian. Be Christian. He does a great job of changing the game in moments, and that's all he needs to do. He doesn't need to do anything more than he's done in the past. Just needs to continue to play, our game, and he does that really well. So, he just needs to be himself. He'll be fine.
Next will be Charlie Bowman from MLSsoccer.com.
Hey, Gregg, following up on what Henry mentioned, in terms of the build-ups and dealing with the opposition, whether it's pressing or, however you want to phrase it, I want to ask your view on the Centerbacks, and particularly the relationship with the central midfielders, in terms of what didn't work on Friday that maybe you want to see improvement in tomorrow.
Yeah, it's just decision-making. Identifying who the free man is, and identifying where the pressure is coming from, and then exploiting that. And that's something we didn't do a great job of. So we worked on it. We've talked about it. We'll analyze it. We'll show some video tonight. But again, I think we can do a better job of that. And it's one thing that I don't want us to lose track of is that it is a young team. And at this moment, anytime in the last camp before the World Cup, there's stress involved, and there's outside factors that affect performance. And I think we should at least acknowledge that and say that the guys were tense in this game, And, you know, it's our job as coaches to put them at ease and help them perform, and that's what we're focused on.
Next would be Michael DeCourcy from the Sporting News.
Yes, Greg, thanks. I wanted to ask you about Ricardo Pepe. I believe we've been given to believe he will start tomorrow night, and I wanted to find out what you wanted to see from him in this game and what you think it can do for him going forward toward November.
It's really hard to answer like what I want to see from guys, because I think, you know, there's roles and responsibilities that they have related to the team performance, and that's what we're focused on. Again, it's not, I don't need him to score 5 goals tomorrow. We need him to play like a forward in our system, and you know, hopefully he gets opportunities, and hopefully he takes the opportunities well. But again, it's stuff that he's done before for us, and confident he can do it tomorrow.
Next would be Sanjay.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Greg. Greg, just following up about Ricardo. Just what have you seen from him in training, and you know, his attitude and mindset since the move to the Netherlands, and you know, what your conversations have been like with him making that move, and how he just seems, you know, on and off the field now since the move. Thanks.
He's been great. He's been lively, confidence. He has, you know, this brightness in his eyes. You know, he's ready to perform, and it's good to see that. I know that it hasn't been easy for Rico in the last you know, months, and it's good to see him you know, have a different demeanor. So really excited for him tomorrow.
We'll go to Jake Landau.
Hey Greg, hope you're doing well.
Hey Jake.
I just wanted to ask about the learning objectives from this game against Saudi Arabia, and do you see them as a team that's similar to any of the opponents in the World Cup?
I don't really see them similar to the opponents in our group, but you know, it's a cohesive team. Most of the players in the starting line will be from 2 clubs, so we know that gives them cohesion. They're an athletic team. You know, they won their group in Asian qualifying, and Japan was in their group. So it's a strong team, and it's going to be a difficult game. And we're looking forward to it because, you know, it's another team in the World Cup, and it's another measuring stick. And we fell short against Japan. We're hoping to rise to the task against Saudi Arabia.
Next would be Robert Bullard.
Hi, Greg. I just wanted to ask you, this is the final game. I just wonder, in the context of the World Cup, do you know what your starting 11 is in your mind's eye for the game against Wales on November the 21st?
You know, in my mind, in a perfect world, is that what you're asking me? Yeah, ideally in a perfect world, I have it in mind. But one thing I know is that, you know, that's not international soccer. So, you know, do I think we have the best players in each position identified? Yes. Do I think they're all going to be available for the start of the World Cup? I don't know. And that's just what every international manager will be dealing with right now. We'll be holding our breaths, hoping that that's the case. But even in this camp, we're missing 5 starters. So, you know, it just is what it is, and you got to roll with it. And you can't use it as an excuse. And what you need to do is give the players that are here confidence instead of worrying about the players that aren't here.